Yeah. What's up, chat? Stix dies today? Oh, yeah. I mean, dude, we had a poll yesterday at 11% with 3 people dead for a long time. That would have been, I don't know we would have killed it on that poll, but it would have been like probably 2 or 3%. People actually go to Walmart? Dude, such a good question. No way they do. Max, early bosses taking time, a good or a bad thing for the race world first? For the race, it's a good thing. For the game, I don't know if it's good. I think I actually think everything that's happened so far has actually I think it's made it clear that there needs to be a heroic week. Blizzard needs more time to tune classes and they need more time to tune raids. Just straight up. No, nothing else needs to be said. I'm down to do hard bosses, but this is not like an intentional race to world first difficulty thing. This is them fucking up. Max went crazy on 2 pairs of shorts and a hoodie. Bro. You went crazy style on that shit? Max, why do racers wait until they get hard walled before sending crests? Why not send them early? That's a good question, actually. It's easy to misunderstand. So the reason is no one cares who kills Stix first. No one cares who kills Sprocket Monger first, who kills Muggsy first. We are not gearing to kill Stix. We are gearing to kill Gallywix. And sometimes, if you were to have everyone send their upgrades and crests, maybe a piece of gear drops on this boss. Actually, not maybe. There will be pieces of gear that drops on this boss, and we will have overall less eye level on Gallywix because we made that decision. Right? Someone could have upgraded a piece of gear and then replaced it with a mythic item, and then they just wasted crests. Or they wasted a craft. If everyone crafts a weapon and a weapon drops, you just wasted mythic loot. Does that make sense? Like, you're not gearing for this boss, you're gearing for Gallywix. So you ideally want to kill these bosses with as little crest spending as possible. But you do have an interesting point where, where does that end? What if just killing bosses faster is better? Maybe. But gear is pretty fucking important, so... Max, why are Liquid not using an Evoker? Aren't they missing a raid buff because they aren't using? Yeah, the raid buff isn't relevant, though. How about Rogue? Rogue's raid buff is good, but Rogue has this really weird thing right now where the Rogue raid buff only affects like 40% of the fight's damage. So it doesn't actually do anything. Like, so the Rogue atrophic poison only reduces damage that's sourced to the boss. And like 60 to 70% of the damage on this fight is not sourced from the boss, so it doesn't really work on this fight. Which is, I mean, that's like definitely an oversight though. Like that's like that. I think it's a mistake. Max, was this the wall, or do you expect another one before Galley? I expect every boss after this to be harder than Stix. No question. Actually, I'm not going to lie. Really, even Sprocket? I mean, I don't know. Like, maybe Sprocket's easier, but no one's going to do Sprocket until Stix dies because it just doesn't make sense for the race. Right? Like, if we go do Sprocket yesterday, we just show the other guilds exactly how to do it. If Method or Echo decided to wake up today and be like, hey, Sprocket might be more killable than Stix, that would make sense if you were doing this off stream. But since it's on stream, what you would be doing is allowing everyone else to kill Stix, and then now you've shown us all a free Sprocket strat. You know, like you've done the troubleshooting for us, like we did for everyone on Stix yesterday. Right? Look at Stix right now, right? Like we spent a lot of time yesterday. We changed comp like 6 times, swapped our tanks, swapped our healers, underhealed, and like the other guilds get to wake up with that, right? That's all troubleshooting that you need to do. So like the reason no one's doing Sprocket, even though it might be easier, is you don't want to do that, right? Like if you know your competition is asleep or doing Mythic Plus, whatever, if you were to craft the worst thing you could possibly do, it would be not killing either boss, but just progressing them both to the end, showing the enrage, troubleshooting, and coming up with the correct comp and strat for both of them for the guilds to wake up to, you know? So that's, if you think about it, that's why no guild is doing Sprocket right now, even though it might be easier. All right, you guessed it, guys. You fucking guessed it. We're in fucking Mythic Plus for a little bit. I'll give you the reasoning. We think this boss is killable right now. But we think we could have multiple sub 1% wipes. If we farm a little more gear, we think it'll die a little faster. And the reality is we have 2 days left in the reset, and it is absolutely fucking insane that we are in the last 2 days of the reset, and the 4th boss is not dead. Okay, that's fucking insane. So if we're gonna do any like end of the week chores, if you're gonna do any end of the week chores, you're doing them like now before you pull the boss, if that makes sense. You want every shred of gear you can get, because it could mean you kill the boss an hour earlier and not have a 0.5% wipe or something, you know? Max, do you think any pulls will happen on Bandit or Muggsy this reset? Yeah, Bandit for sure. Like, I think, especially because we've been doing a lot of our weekly chores, we should be able to raid until the reset. So, like, we're not going to, like, stop our raid early tomorrow to do things. Like, we're doing all of our 10s now. So... yeah. I feel like, but yeah, I mean, like, Sprocket dies tomorrow. I think, like, or tonight maybe. I don't know how hard Sprocket. I mean, I know the damage check is pretty hard, but like I think we can do it. Could this be a Sepulcher tier? I don't know. Like, both things have happened. We have had tiers that... Okay, I don't think it'll be Sepulcher for one reason. Sepulcher was Sepulcher because double legendaries was a thing, and they tuned the last boss to be killed with 2 legendaries. That's why Sepulcher happened. There's nothing like that this time. There's also been raids where you've killed a really hard boss, like Painsmith, and then the rest of the bosses were easy. You know? I think one thing is definitely true. Blizzard can't nerf this boss now because they released it in this state and we already progressed it, so they'd be screwing us over if they nerfed it. But I think if Blizzard could... I can't read minds, but I'm pretty sure if Blizzard could go back in time, I think this boss is majorly changed before we got to it. If not for any other reason, though, this is an example that they just simply need Heroic Week, man. It's just true. They need a Heroic Week. It's like, I'm down for hard bosses. This is not complaining about the boss. None of that. We're going to kill the boss. It's just, this is... I mean, it's just... Like, this is just not what a 4th boss is supposed to be, you know? Like, I don't know. Max, I believe at the end of this race you will say you were too conservative. What do you mean by that? Too conservative with what? Putting your resources towards early bosses? Well, I'm telling you, we're not putting our resources toward earlier bosses. Oh, maybe that's what he's saying. Like, you would have done better. At the end of the race, he thinks that we would have done better if we just sent all of our upgrades and didn't care about gear and just killed early bosses faster. I mean, okay, you can't... Maybe that's what you're saying. If that's what you're saying, I would love to bet against you anytime. That is pretty much any decision you make resulting in having less gear for the end boss is like cooked. Like, dude, let me give you an example, bro. We could probably take like multiple days off, let the other guilds get like a boss ahead or something, and then like just farm gear that whole time, just for the sake of argument. Any guild could do this, like at the top, and like your road back to where they're at will be so fast because you just have a road map in front of you, you know. And if you just got to the last boss, even 30% behind them when you started pulling it, but you had 2 more eye levels, you would end up winning. You know? Like that's I don't think you guys understand how much gear matters. It's fucking insane. Why don't you guys do that then? Because that's not how the game works. What I just said. Like, taking multiple days off doesn't allow you to just gain +2 eye level. That's not how that works. I'm just saying for the sake of argument. And the reality is everyone would do it. Max, what do you think about how good are you prepared with gear compared to Echo and Method? Bro, I have no idea. We don't look at what they're doing, generally. I have no clue. Also, I don't know anything about gear in general, but like right now, there's like probably not one person on Earth, even if they spent their entire life studying it, that would be able to tell you how many upgrades certain people have spent versus others, versus what they're holding versus crafts. Like, bro, it's like legit quantum level dog shit. Like, it's so complicated. Like, you won't know until like everyone's fully upgraded on the last boss, basically. Why do you re-equip Jaster Diamond every time? It's bugged. Max, do you think Gallywix will be the hardest this raid? I think that's a safe bet. The last boss is the hardest boss in... What raids has the last boss not been the hardest boss? Emerald Nightmare? Okay, guys, that's... Okay, you're right. I was about to say that's cherry picking. That might be cherry picking a extremely niche example. But I will give it to you. That is true. Yes, Emerald Nightmare. Okay. Sepulcher? No, I think Jailer was harder than Halandris. But they're really close, though, so that's like a good guess. Castle Nathria? No. Denathrius was harder than Stone Legion Generals for sure. It died in less pulls, but pulls do not equal difficulty. Spine was harder. Spine was harder in Dragon Soul, yeah. Tomb of Sargeras? KJ was harder than Fallen Avatar. Was Echo of Neltharion harder than Sark? No, Sark was harder than Neltharion. Sanctum? Sylvanas was definitely the hardest boss in Sanctum. Tindril harder than Fyrak? Fyrak, I think, was harder than Tindril. In the race, at least. So there's like maybe like 3 or 4 examples of this ever. So, yeah, it's like saying the last boss will be the hardest boss is a pretty... That's like, it's expected, you know? Max, do you yourself rewatch Echo Strats from the last day when they get good progress on a boss, or who is doing it? Yeah, I always do. So, like, if they're ever on the same boss as us, I'll usually, first thing when I wake up is I'll just look at a poll and I'll just see if they're doing any small things differently. I'll see what their weak auras look like. I'll see what their movement looks like. I'll see if they're doing something specific that, like, you know, is like really clever and good stuff that we can add. Like, basically 2 heads are always better than 1. Echo's a really smart guild, so you can always take stuff from what they do and it can benefit you. Some tiers that happens more than others. Like, in most tiers it happens a lot. Last year it did not happen 1 time, which was like fucking insane. Like, every time we looked at them, they were just so far behind that it didn't... There's nothing to look at. That's very rare. Like, that hasn't happened much before and probably won't happen again, I assume. Maybe, who knows? Also, it's really ideal. Like, it's extreme. Like, the 2 heads are better than 1 thing is so nice. Like, in the most ideal world, basically, we wake up today and they got farther than us on Stix. That is, or like they've innovated a bunch of stuff to get farther, and then you like learn more about the fight. That is ideal. Like, kind of the worst case scenario is you wake up and they're right where you were, but you don't learn anything. That's just like kind of unfortunate. Is that worst case happening now? Well, no. So Stix is an example of a boss that, like, I don't think it really matters. Like, oh, that's pulling. How is that not pulling? Stix is an example of a boss that I think we have figured out. Like, it's more like bosses with phases in it. Like, right, Stix is kind of the same thing the whole fight. If you know how to do the boss from 50 to 30%, you know how to do it from 30 to 0. It's the same fight. Like, you want to see them, like, see a new phase or get some information or come up with something really good, you know? Yeah, we felt really good all day yesterday. Like when we were doing the boss, we didn't think we were playing bad. Like there was definitely times where people were making mistakes. It's just a fucking hard boss, bro. It's just like that boss is just really hard. You can tell we're playing good because the vibes are up. Yeah. People know when they're playing good or bad. People were having a good time on the boss too. I called last poll last night at like our normal time to go to bed, and then Fired Up literally lied that Bart told him we needed to do another poll to test a weak aura just so we could pull the boss again. Like obviously that's a funny bit just in general, but like, but that just means that they're having fun doing the boss, you know. Max, is it good for the race that the fourth boss is somewhat of a wall? Do you mean like for the health of the game or the race specifically, or like do you mean like I mean for the race it's pretty easy, right? Like the race you just want to watch the best guilds in the world do super hard bosses, right? Like I think an ideal version of the race, if you were to like craft it and it not affect the gameplay of the rest of the game, right, which is not exactly how World of Warcraft works. If you were to craft that, right, it would be just like 8 really fucking hard bosses, right? If it was just about the race, that's what people want to watch. They want to watch the best guilds in the world do really hard, cool, fun bosses. I think the argument is it good for the game that Stix is like this? Now, it's kind of interesting, right? So Brood Twister was really interesting last year because the first 4 bosses were so easy that guilds were on Brood Twister that are like world rank 300 at the same time as Liquid was. That was really strange, right? But like right now, it's interesting. Stix is actually 1 boss earlier in the raid, but I don't know how many people are even on Stix. You know? Like it's 2 days left in the reset. There's not that many guilds even on Stix. And I would be willing to bet, yeah, 5 guilds, right? So like when Blizzard talks about creating an experience for the race and not having it affect other guilds, it's possible that Stix is an even bigger egregious mistake than Brood Twister, where it's like too hard for the spot it is in the raid. It's 1 boss earlier and probably just as hard as Brood Twister. But like the issue with Brood Twister was that people were fighting it that had no chance. I don't think that's true with Stix. Like almost no one is going to fight Stix that doesn't have a chance. And I think it's extremely likely on the reset that this boss gets sent to the Shadow Realm, by the way. I'm pretty sure Stix is going to get just demolished on the reset. It's going to be crazy nerfed. Right? So in a way, is that bad? Like, is that bad for the game? If Stix is in a killable, fair, normal version, if any boss is in a killable, fair, normal version for when guilds get to it, it can kind of be as hard as you want it to be for the race. It's just certain raids you kind of have to pick and choose where those bosses are. Now, I'm not defending them. Like, I want to make this perfectly clear. I love hard bosses. I want to do hard bosses. I think the harder the raid is, the better chance we have to win. I think last race definitely showed that. All of those things. Okay. Stix is very clearly too hard for a 4th boss, right? We can say both of those things can be true. I'm not complaining. But it's just objectively like that's not a 4th boss at all. You know? So I don't know. I just feel like they need a heroic week. That's all. I feel like the tuning's a little off. Feel like there's classes. I mean, what have they been, bro? They've made it a vision for the last like couple expansions. Like every time a new season comes out, they make a habit of nerfing old trinkets so they're not good anymore. They make a habit of nerfing old tier and buffing new tier if you're not wearing it. These are things that have basically all not only been their goals, but they've achieved them in like basically every season when it comes out. You have people using Transmitter as their best in slot right now. You have people using Spy Masters. You have multiple classes not equipping full heroic tier of a new tier. I'm not talking normal. They are not equipping heroic fully upgraded tier over their previous tier set. And not to call them out, But we fucking told them this. We like, they ask us for like some information, like, hey, do you guys run into any bugs? You know, like, what do you guys think? You guys do a lot of work on tuning. Like, what's your opinion on class balance right now? You know? And we told them, like, hey, there's a couple specs. Here's the exact specs. They're not going to wear your new tier that you've designed for them. It didn't do anything, you know? I mean, they're either just like hella behind or I don't know what the fuck's going on. Rushed patch or something. Raid's fun though. Which is all I care about, but Max, how is the impact of mental find on a boss of a wall so early? You want me? I mean, just listen to us raid, man. Has Max given YouTube chat the daily acknowledgement? Well, well, well. I just did it. Look at that. Max, can you talk about AUG? No one is playing it. What do you want me to talk about? Here's what I think, man. So why we're not playing it, why would you not play any spec? Well, it's probably because you don't think they're good at that specific fight or something, or just in general, you know? Basic logic, but I don't know. AUG has been like kind of too good since it came out. So I think them erring on the side of it being dead for a season is not bad. If you think about it, there's a lot of specs that feel dead in many seasons. Happens to everybody. Why not them? Max, but isn't this the fourth boss because you chose it? Couldn't it have been the sixth? No, it could have been the fifth. Could have been either this or Sprocket. By the way, I actually think it is likely that Sprocket is easier than Stix. Just going to toss that out there. I think it is likely that Sprocket Monger is easier. But there's a reason that none of the guilds have gone to it yet. Is it a sunk cost thing? No. I explained it earlier. And the reason is, okay, we're all pulling an execution heavy boss right now that we showed last night before we went to bed, before they started raiding, that it was killable. Okay? So we've already done all the legwork. We figured out the 3 tanking versus 2 tanking, the 4 healing versus 3 healing, the daughters versus the single target balance. We did all of it. We figured it all out before they even started on the boss. So you have this roadmap to a boss that you know is killable, but it's an execution check, right? Do you choose to pull that, or do you choose to pull, if you're one of the other guilds, not us, Echo Method, or do you choose to pull Sprocket Monger, kill it or not, doesn't matter if you kill it, but then allow us to wake up and kill the execution heavy boss that you have to do anyway, but now you've just showed us, you've just done the problem solving for us. In general, in the raid, the best thing you can possibly do is, if you can ever do this, is being the problem solver is inefficient. Other guilds will get relatively better time than you because they're going to get all the answers before they have to ask the questions themselves, right? So those 2 guilds waking up and doing Sprocket Monger, even if they thought it was easier, would just be giving us all the answers, which would help us. But them, if you think about it, both things help each guild the same when you're thinking about just their guild, but doing Sprocket Monger helps the other guilds. That's why no one's doing Sprocket Monger. Isn't FSY doing Sprocket Monger? Yeah, but Fat Shark's not in the race, though. Like, I'm talking like a guild that's trying to get world first. Like, Fat Shark, yes, is competing in their own bracket, and they're just, like, doing the raid. They raid, like, 5 hours a night, 7 days a week, maybe 6 days a week. But they're not competing for world first, right? I'm talking about the 3 guilds that are competing for world first. Fat Shark, yes, is good, though. That's not Flame. That's just stating the obvious. Max, did you think Echo would have killed it when you woke up? No. But I think I was hoping that Echo did Sprocket. Like, I was hoping Echo pulled Sprocket and killed it, or pulled Sprocket and not killing it, doesn't matter. But I was hoping that Echo or Method chose to do Sprocket all day. That would have been extremely good for us. But both of them were did not do that. They did like 4 pulls for weak auras. Yeah, we did all of our weak aura testing during Heroic. That's why we haven't pulled Sprocket yet. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like pulling the boss and problem solving it. Doing 7 pulls for weak auras is not pulling the boss. If that makes sense. Why would they give you free info? That would be stupid. Now, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. But earlier, people were asking why no one has gone to Sprocket. So what you think is obvious is not obvious. A lot of the chat doesn't really understand that side of it. Max, where'd you get this mushroom hat? Bro, I got this shit from Tarjay. I was just randomly pulling up through a Target one day, and I was like, that hat slaps. Then I got it. Max, if Echo kills Stix now, do you think they kill stream for Sprocket Monger? I don't think so. No. Because, like, Sprocket is like a... Like, as long as you show one phase of Sprocket, you've just shown your whole hand. There's no reason to not stream it. If that makes sense. There's bosses where not streaming them helps, but Sprocket's not one of them. Although maybe they'll do it more. They're definitely way more protective of any information than we are. Like, we stream 100% of our comms, for example, when we're progressing Mythic. And I think they've had theirs basically muted all day. At least from what I could tell. Really strange, I also don't understand why. Like, I actually don't get it. I don't understand. Like, I very, very strongly believe that muting your comms does absolutely nothing. You definitely mute a fair bit. We have not muted 1 second of Mythic progression starting. Since we have started Mythic progression and we have been in Mythic raid, you have heard our comms 100% of the time. That is not true. You definitely have muted. Have not. When we are progressing Mythic bosses, not on a break, not on dinner, we are unmuted. That is, you're just saying things right now. That's crazy. Why are you saying shit? I literally press a button to mute it. You mute to discuss strats. No, we don't. What are you fucking talking about? Guys, we progressed Stix for like a long time yesterday. We didn't mute one time. They mute when they're discussing shit, not progression. No, we don't. No, we don't. Max, you did before you started progression. Yes, that is true. This is not true. You're just saying things. You're muted during splits. Yes, that is true. I never said that wasn't true. It's not true. You're just making that up. But anyways, you literally started out muted for like 2 hours yesterday. Okay, in YouTube chat, what were we doing for those 2 hours? What were we doing? Were the Raiders doing Mythic Plus? Were they doing Mythic Plus and we weren't Mythic rating? That's fucking crazy. Because that's not what I said. That's fucking insane. That's just not what I'm saying. Come on, man. Let's not make stuff up now. All right, but yeah, I don't get muting comms in progression. Like, I just, like, every time I've looked at Echo's POV, because we're like, okay, we could learn something here. You just see what they're doing. Like, here's basically the point. Like, so when they're muting comms, you don't think they're muting it for, like, the viewers, right? Like, they don't care if the viewers hear it. They don't want, I'm assuming, okay, help me if this is my assumption. I believe if you're in Echo's position, you don't want us hearing their comms. I believe that's the fear. They're muting it because of us. I don't think there's, maybe method, but, like, I don't think there's anyone else. It's the other guilds, right? It's not the viewers. It's not anyone else. It's just us. Okay. I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, I've learned everything I wanted to learn from them from just watching their POV. Like, hearing them talk in between polls, I don't have time for that. Like, you're just going to do what they do. You can see what they do. If they talk about what they're going to do for 2 hours and then do it, we just saw that. Right? There's no, muting comms does literally nothing. The only thing I could think is, like, maybe they feel like their players play better when they know that they're not being, like, their comms are being streamed. That would actually be like a performance benefit. That's the only thing I could really, I think it's that. That actually kind of makes sense. Exactly. I think people might be more confident in speaking with comms muted. Maybe, yeah. Makes sense. But the thing is, though, is, like, we all need viewers and ad money to, like, keep our jobs. Echo's their own org, so they pay themselves. So that's just direct increase. Like, them muting comms for sure lowers viewership as well. So I feel like, yeah, I mean, it's a decision. I mean, performance over everything. I can respect that. I respect that. Fucking respect that. Their biggest channel is the main channel, though, so they got casters filling up the muted things. Yeah, but why do you think that is, though? You don't think that there's a possibility that over a long period of time, the reason that people are main channel focused of Echo is because they don't have player streams to listen to comms on? Like, I have a few points of information for this. I've heard people say, no, it's because their main broadcast is just so good. Okay, dude, I think our liquid broadcast is goated. I think our casters are actually turbo goated. I think the production is turbo goated. You saw that last year where our main channel had a ton of viewers. But just from my channel alone, eliminating another channel, the first tier I had a mute button on my OBS. And I could just mute our whole guild on everyone's stream at once. And I overused it. Our viewers went to the Shadow Realm. My viewers on my channel were just like, they just left. They're like, this isn't content anymore. The content is the listening, right? So if basically the other guild is always playing like that, then I think they're leaving a lot of viewers on the table, is what I'm saying. It doesn't matter whose stream they're in. It doesn't matter if you're in Team Liquid stream or the player stream. I split my income with my raiders anyway during the race, right? But yeah. But I can respect the performance overall thing. The money not mattering now. That's hype. How the fuck do you do this dungeon? Yeah, I don't know. I haven't done any Mythic Plus this season, but this key in particular looks very dookie. The reason it's fun to watch is because Liquid seems like they're having fun most of the time, and Echo seems like they're always serious. Dude, you know what I've always wondered about that? It's really easy to be, like, carefree and having fun when you're in the lead. And it's just kind of hard to joke around when you're ever behind. Do you know what I mean? So I wonder if the fact that NA gets these bosses earlier, just in general, even if our two guilds played exactly, we were the exact same skill level, right? I wonder if that is a big reason why that's the case. Because, like, literally no matter what, like, you just feel like the constant feeling of being behind means, like, you can't feel like you joke around, if that makes sense. Rather than, like, culture difference. I mean, there's definitely a huge culture diffy, but Max finally admits the US has an advantage because the release schedule, the laugh factor. It could be a real thing, man. How far ahead did we start ahead of them this tier? I don't even remember how long the maintenance was. Is it 7 hours? I think it's 7 hours. So 7 days, basically. And we lost an hour to daylight savings time. That doesn't really matter. We just like we lost an hour of sleep last night, but we just woke up like an hour later. Like we basically slept for the same amount of time, but just started our day an hour later because of the time change. So you're going an hour later every day now? Then, like, time-wise, yes. Yeah. Max, does Stix make you worried about how the rest of the raid will be as far as difficulty? Could this possibly turn into the hardest raid they've ever made? I mean, if every boss from the fourth boss onward got linearly harder after Stix, this would definitely be the hardest boss they've ever made. Right? Like, imagine Nerebar Palace, but the fourth boss was also 100 pulls. You know? It could be that, but you know what's also happened in raids? You fought really hard bosses and the next three were easy. You know? Who knows? It's weird. So much hate to other guilds and people make love. Dude, so true, Congo Bob 86. I don't think anyone in here is hating. I mean, I'm sure there's people in here who like dislike Echo, and there's probably some hate watchers in here who dislike me and us, but I mean, you know, we usually keep them in check pretty good. But that's pretty normal. So fucking true. Hate watchers? You don't have any hate watchers? Bro, type a smile if you're a hate watcher right now. Let's get that hate flowing in our veins. Let's fucking go. Alright, W. Thanks for all the smiles, guys. You guys watched so many ads, you bought me a house in Los Angeles. Your hate is fueling me. W house. Thanks for the house. Hate house. I'm also hate watching your house, so checkmate. Oh, that's scary. Don't do that. What does hate watching a house even mean? Alright, I'm gonna go get some drink. Be right back. Dude, they're sending in a whole couple cases of Blue Hawaiian, by the way. Max muting again is crazy. Bro, dude, I swear I was being gaslit so hard. I just said we don't mute in Mythic progression when we're progressing. And then these people were just like, yes, you do. And then they proved their point by saying a time where we muted just simply not in Mythic progression. It's like just, I guess to one. Okay, some credit to that though is that Mythic, and I actually had to explain this to my girlfriend recently who doesn't like play WoW, so she doesn't really understand like difficulties and stuff. Because I told her we were gonna do Mythic Raid, and then she asked me, "What is Mythic Plus?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that is like kind of the same name." So it is a little confusing. Yeah. Did you not mute literally yesterday? Bro. What about Mythic Raid Plus? That doesn't exist. That would be kind of interesting. Isn't that what Fated is? No. You couldn't do Castle Nathria level 2, level 3. It had some shitty fucking affixes? That's not what makes Mythic Plus Mythic Plus. There's no scaling difficulty. Max, don't you think you misread the raid and should have prepared more boomies for Stix? There's like... So Boomkin's boss damage is unbelievably bad. So you want just as many Boomkins to deal with the ads as possible. So I feel like we prepped our Moonkins fine. But also look at it another way. If Moonkin is like only really, really good for one boss in the raid and it's the 4th boss, in most raids, would you want to make sure you prepare like 5 classes for the 4th boss and then no other boss? I mean, that's kind of... You look at it like that, there's not a big reason to do that. Like we thought about Moonkins and we were like, we literally have someone maining Moonkin right now that is not playing Moonkin for the rest of the raid. They literally mained Moonkin until we got past Stix, and then we geared up another character for them in Heroics, and they're going to gear to Mythic Plus after Stix dies. There's 2 people like that, actually. And so we literally did do that for the purpose of having Moonkins for Stix exactly. Right? But, yeah, I mean, it's... Bro, ain't nobody thought the 4th boss was going to be, like, an 100 pull fight, you know? That's literally never happened before. It's a new proc. I will say, though, this is the raid of niches. If there's anything true about this raid, if this raid's going to be remembered for anything, it is the raid where niches came back. So, number 1, when was the last time Moonkins were like, the Moonkin thing, the like, we can do the spread out cleave faster than everyone? When was the last time that was like super, super goated on a really hard boss, right? Sylvanas? Okay, sure. That was... How long? Was that 3-4 years ago? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a long time ago. Like, it's been years, right? It hasn't happened in the last few raids. So yeah, it's so the Moonkin niche was brought back. Okay, that's a major niche. That's a class that like one class can do the thing and no one else can. Okay. What about Execute? When was the last time there was a phase on a boss that when you got there, it was a race to the end and the damage you had done before that point did not matter? Sire Denathrius? Maybe in farm, but not progression, because you didn't actually hit the damage cutoff in progression. But Denathrius is probably the closest example. Again, 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. Razageth? No. No, not Razageth. The damage you did in P2 and P3 was combined to the same damage check. Razageth would be the case if there was like a damage cutoff you hit before going into the last phase, and then it was like timed and it started at the same percentage. That's not true. Echo of Neltharion. True. Echo of Neltharion was one of them. If you hit the damage cutoff, which none of us did in progression. So in World First, no. But for guilds after that, yes. Max, Stone Legion Generals. Yes, but no. It was 2-target cleave. It was also, I think, literally 2-shot. So not a big one. So Denathrius is probably the best example. Again, 3 or 4 years ago. Any multi-daughters in the chat? Any affliction locks? Any shadow priests? Any moonkins? When was the last time dots were fucking relevant? It's been BFA. It's been since BFA. Dots have been dog shit since BFA. Right? Dots are fucking back, bro. Dotting classes fucking own add dotting things in this raid. So all I'm saying is, if I remember this raid by anything, it is that this is the raid where they brought all the niches back. The only thing, like, what's like another major niche that, I guess like funnel is kind of the one that doesn't exist here, but like they basically revived 3 almost completely dead niches for years. Like basically the class you wanted for the last like 3 years in raiding was really basic. It was a class that did really good single target, was really tanky, and did really good stacked cleave, and you just made every strat on every boss You just turned it into a stacked cleave fight. That's been raiding for years. You didn't do these niches. They didn't exist. They never happened. And then this raid, they like, I don't know if it was specific, but it seems like they specifically designed the raid to have certain bosses like explore all of those niches in a way they haven't in years, which is pretty interesting. Feral 100% funnels was set. Oh, classes have funneled for years, but they don't really design fights around it. And there's not a fight where you just bring, like, there hasn't been a raid boss where you bring a funnel class on purpose in years. Hasn't happened. It's not something that's even been discussed at the World First level. Like, the word funnel gets mentioned a few times, but it's never something you exploit like you have with bosses in the past. Most famously, Zool. What is a funnel class? A funnel class is... Okay, so imagine there's just one target, okay? And all you care about is doing damage to one target. Now imagine there's no other mobs around it, you're just single targeting. Now that's just single target, right? What funnel is you surround it with a certain amount of mobs that don't need to die, and you use those other targets just to do more damage to your main target. Some popular examples and easy to understand examples of funnel are like old Ellie shamans like flame shocking multiple targets, but then just shooting more lava bursts into their main target. That's like a really classic example of funnel. Sub rogue casting Fan of Knives, instantly going to 5 combo points, and then just slamming eviscerates or whatever their finisher is into the boss, right? Unholy Decay Festermite, bursting a bunch of wounds to get a bunch of strength increase to burst the wounds and like put huge damage into this one target with their cooldowns, or like you're basically, there's a bunch of ads, but you don't care about like, we're not trying to AoE them. You don't even care if they die. In fact, if they die, it's bad. You want to keep them alive purely to increase your single target damage to the main target. That's what funnel is. Daughters have kind of always had really strong funnel, right? Because basically the way dot classes work is, most of them work, is by having more dots on more targets, you get more resources or more procs to funnel into your main target. So like dotting just as a concept kind of is funnel. Max, I would love to hear you chat about what makes Stix so hard. I mean, kind of the whole fight's hard. First of all, it's random every pull. So you can't just like learn a specific thing and do it over and over again. You have to learn multiple different versions of the same fight. A major point of difficulty is getting the scrap masters in time before they kill people. A major point of difficulty is getting kicks on the scrap masters before they one-shot someone. A major point of difficulty is like getting your ball big enough in time to even do that. People getting picked at random times. Like, this is one of those fights where, like, I bet it would already be dead by now if the same 4 people could be trash every time. But the fact that it's different 4 people every time, and you're learning how to like do it so slowly, means it's just a really long progression fight, because like everyone just has to get the thing a certain amount of times to be good at it, and like not everyone's learning at the same time. So it's just like the variation of the fight. Like, here's another thing. They tuned this boss where you have to 3 heal it. And guess what can happen? And this happened yesterday on our 10% wipe. This happened on our 10% wipe. We had with 3 healers, you have to spread your healing cooldowns a lot, right? We had a monk with Yulon and Revival up as our only healing cooldowns whatsoever for the boss at 25%, and it just picked him. And the healers were like, red alert. And we just fucking lost like 3 people. Like, it's just fucking, I mean, it's bullshit, right? Like, it's straight up bullshit. But that's hard, right? The variance is hard. Max, do you think one armed dies before the reset? It's possible. I think we'll kill Stix today. I think Sprocket will be easier than Stix, so I think we'll kill that too. And then, best case scenario, we have half a day on one-armed bandit. I think one-armed bandit could die in half a day, but no one knows the answer until you see the tuning, right? Like, bandit isn't a hard boss to execute as much as it should be to just like do the damage, but who knows what the tuning's like. Max, would the guild theoretically perform better if the progression had no online coverage? You mean like no streaming? Yeah, for sure. They would slow every other guild down. We always have to do our own shit. Max, you talked about why other guilds went to Stix after you, but why did you choose Stix over Sprocket Monger? I just fucking love trash. Like on some dog shit. Do you think that EU and NA should start the race at the same time? What do you think? Of course. What fucking no. It's better this way. What the fuck? How far did Echo and Method get today? Let's look. Progress? Yeah. Let's see. Does it show the percentages? Where do you see the percentages at? Is it on Raider.io? Okay, so Echo's best is 17%, pulls 60. Ooh. Method, I feel pretty good about that. Like showing what comp and how many healers you had to zone in with. Basically same pulls. Dude, our 11% wipe was also with 2 people dead for minutes, too. This boss is so fucking deceased. Okay, that's something to look at. I mean, at least from what I could tell, do you think that Method in, do you think that, like, a lot of people going into this tier were like, how's Method gonna do? In fact, I was insufferably asked this every single stream, which is the most insane question ever, because like how could I know how good another guild that I'm not in is going to do? That just, let's just say they got a lot better in farm. How would I know? How could anyone know, right? But it looks like Echo's gapping Method on this boss, right? So like if people were like, Method is now competing for world first, Method is, again, it's early, but like you've seen a direct You've seen them both do a hard boss for 60 pulls, and Echo is way farther in the boss than Method is. Right? They both have 60 pulls, and Method is at 50%, and Echo's at 17. That's like hella different. Max Method's eye level is also 1 whole point higher. Oh, that's interesting. That can be a little misleading, though. Eye level can be a little misleading. Like, it can be higher eye level without the right normal, very rare trinkets, for example. And they could have also sent more upgrades, for example. Max, as a raid leader, what do you do when 90% of the raid disagrees on a strat when you know it's the right thing to do based on logs? It feels like I'm against a mob. That's interesting. So is it possible that you're right and 90% of your guild are wrong and they're all dumb? Maybe. But I would say as a raid leader, when 90% of your guild wants to do something and you've explained it clearly and they still don't, they're probably right, bro. You know, it's not a one-man show. Just keeping it a buck. Dude, you know what's crazy? You know what actually could be true? Is you could be right, but it might still be the wrong decision to do the thing that 90% of people disagree with. Does that make sense? Like, sometimes when you're the only one who's right, you're wrong. Or counter logic, do what you want to do and make them resent you, and then kill the fucking guild. That'd be hype too. Make their lives hell, buddy. They disagreed with you. You are the fucking leader. Let's go. Fuck them. How dare they disagree with you, buddy? Blow that shit up. Fucking gaslight one of them too. I like that. Like, I tried to like put that in my own head, and I can tell you right now, I could have the literal best idea on the planet. Like, I think it's the best idea ever, and I bring it up to the guild and I show them it on raid plan, and a lot of them vocally are like, "This sounds bad." There's a 0% chance we're doing it, and we're moving on to the next thing because it's probably bad. You know. And even if it's not bad, they all hate it. So like, what are we doing here? It's not gonna work. How often has that happened? That's never happened. I'm never wrong. The thing with me is I'm right 100% of the time. It goes fucking insane. Unlike that other guy. Just that's my bit. I just I can't be wrong. It's what's up. W narcissism. Let's go. Wait, dude, is Tobo streaming? 1 second. Oh, there's Tobo, bro. 1 second. Let me hit this crazy shit right here. You guys see Tobo? Let me find him. Dude, what TeamSpeak is he in? Dude, who's he in a group with? Is he pugging? Is he in 4 other group? Is he in a 10 pug with 5 and 4 non-guildies, bro? That goes insane. That's official. Maybe he's trying to get traded, actually. That kind of makes sense. And dude, Peter Griffin is fucking owning right now. Peter Griffin is going insane. Here, let me find his POV. Max, so what's the deal with Zevi's Agi weapon? I mean, that's just what it is, bro. Zevi accidentally picked the wrong weapon to craft, sent it out, and some guy claimed it so he couldn't cancel it, and someone just crafted him an Agi weapon, and there's no way to fix it. It goes insane. It happens. I mean, it shouldn't happen, right? But what can you do? You didn't mean to do it. Is he low IQ? Bro, he is insane. He's an insane gamer. He would make you, if you ever played a game that you cared about being good at with him and you played it one time, you'd never play it again. You'd be so embarrassed. I will now not allow any slander. Maybe a Windwalker angle. Just an angle on it. Is Peter Griffin Shadow in the raid? Yeah. What the fuck is Bernardio build, by the way? That's so good. Bernardio. Are we going moron mode today? Dude, I didn't know what he was talking about. I don't know what that means, but apparently going moron mode just means playing Frosty K. I don't understand the bit. Something happened when I wasn't around. Dude, by the way, holy shit, DPSDK is bad. That shit is fucking terrible, man. You know how bad DPS DK has to be to where you wouldn't want to bring one on a fight like this when grips are absolutely insane? Why Boomy over Trill on some of these fights? Sometimes when we bring like one over the other, it might be like someone needs Mythic Plus more, you know? Uh, but I mean, Boomy's also that goat. Boomy is a farm animal. Max, our Shadow Priest healing CD is divided for healing purposes? That's a good question. That's not my area, but probably. It's kind of weird though. You can get picked sometimes. Oh, you're cool out. You guys know it's possible to have a pull on Stix where no healers get picked, and then there's a possibility that they just get picked all the time. It's fucking sick. Max, can you talk at all about Mage spec choices? Yeah, it seems like they're playing fire right now. That is all I know. Mages are in a really good spot. They Mages have a lot of specs and even multiple hero talents within one spec that fill a lot of different damage niches. So I think Mage is going to be like, just in general, like really versatile on all fights. It's just like able to do what you need them to do. Like obviously Stix is like a fire mage wet dream, right? You just fucking blast the boss and burn everything. Max, what makes DPS DK so bad? They're simming well. Well, sim. I really, really hope none of you guys make any decisions on what class you play based on sims, by the way. Just throwing that out as just a regular thing. But um I mean DK could be used. I'm not saying it won't be. It's just that I would say the biggest problem with DK is that there are multiple melee specs who do literally everything better. Our unholy DK is godlike. Yeah, I mean, so that's the good thing about WoW is that pretty much even when I say a class is relatively not great for the race world first, all classes are always viable, and if you're in your guild, your decision on what class you bring should almost always be who your best players are. That actually should always be, not always, almost always. Max, do you like dubstep? Of the Optimus Prime variety. Max, how do you like this raid compared to the last so far? We've seen 4 bosses. I have no idea. But holy shit, did they take Rashonan bad. Alrighty. Is Stix worse than the Ash Vein wall? Oh, Stix is definitely harder than Ash Vein, yeah. But that you're comparing different things though. Max, do you feel pressure or stress? No. Chilling. Do I sound like I'm stressed out? I'm just been fucking bullshitting with you guys for like 2 hours. What do you mean? So stressed he's snapping at us now. Fucking calm down, buddy. Are you doing that thing in like domestic arguments when like someone's not mad and the other person's like, calm down? I feel like that's what's happening to me right now. I'm calm, right? Like, please. Please stop yelling. We can talk when you relax. Dude, Tobo's actually hitting that pug right now. That's crazy. Max, watching you lead these guys is incredible. Calm, patient, but also still light when it's time to go. Calm down, man. We're not having this conversation until you relax. W Glaze. It's not funny when you do it. Bro, that's my alt account. Holy shit. Do you guys like how I chose to read that message too? That goes fucking hard. I can do that as a streamer too. I can just only read Glaze comments. Dude, I think we're gonna kill this boss today, bro. I think this boss. I think we could wipe under 1% of this boss like multiple times. It is extremely tight. Is the boss in rage equals dead? No, not quite. The boss enrages, and then he'll one-shot your tanks, and then he puts out a fire debuff, which hits 10 people. Those 10 people without an immunity will all die. So then you, with all 3 reses, you could have only 7 people die, and then you have another 20 seconds, I think, until he does it again. Let me ask Tobo if he needs people. Liquid plus 10 top trinket. Oh, he's doing a trinket trade. Dude, Tobo has to get other people to list his group. Because he doesn't have an authenticator on his phone. He doesn't have a phone number. That's so good. Guys, please sign up for this. It's called plus 10. He needs to change the title to liquid. You have to put liquid in the title. Put liquid in the title so people can find it. I wonder why you can't do that without a phone number. Oh, it's probably to stop like sales and botting and gold selling or something is probably the why it exists. Bro, Shuckman's in that shit again? God damn. We need an intellect trinket trader is what we need. Oh shit, they made my snack tray again. Yo! Bro, is your PC still having a crazy rave? Yes, dude. I don't know why. It has to be some button. I should have fixed it this morning, bro. There's a button on top of the computer that I think might be it. But if it like puts the computer to sleep, I'm gonna be immeasurably tilted for the rest of the day. Are we doing Mythic Plus? Ideally to make our guys fucking huge. Are the League of Legends players there too, or do you have the facility yourselves? We have them. We have it to ourselves. They have apartments near the facility. I think they're just playing there. We kick them the fuck out. They're in Korea. All right, I made that up. Fuck it. We kicked them out of the fucking country, bro. Get out of here. Max, how expensive is it for Liquid to host an event? I think it's usually a couple $100,000. And they make that back? Yeah. Max, do you think there'll be something as hyped as the Race to World First in the future? Well, like ever? Nah, this is probably it for humanity. We fucking peaked, bro. How's your relationship going? Great. We don't talk about that shit on stream though. Real good. Very happy. Max, you're being hysterical. I can't talk to you right now. I feel like I'm calm, right? I just feel like I'm not overreacting, right? Like I feel like it's you know. Damn, bro. I kind of want to raid right now. Let me get all these people to leave their fucking dungeons. I'm trying to have fun. Dude, just this whole week has been so much gear farming, man. At least if there's anything, like, you can kind of think of this week as heroic week. Like, I feel like other simultaneous release raids, it didn't feel like heroic week. It felt like a couple days of splits, and then you were raiding most of the week. I feel like most of the week was farming, and it's like we did a little bit of mythic, you know. And then next week it's gonna be like purely progression. So like next week is what I'm hyped for, bro. Max, can we get a Severance spoiler, bro? You know what that reminded me of? Dude, that reminded me when okay, so at the beginning of Dragonflight, Blizzard, it was actually a really cool sponsor opportunity. They built a Dragonflight themed escape room and paid me and a bunch of my friends to just go do it. And it was like a fucking ton of money too. It was sweet. Um and because of that, like Kevin, Shaq, and Fired Up all flew into LA to do the escape room. So Shaq and Fired Up were hanging out at my house while I was streaming, and I left my room, and Shaq went on my stream with no context to this whatsoever, and just pulled up a YouTube video of the end of like the Chronicles of Narnia series and just described and completely spoiled the entire series to like 10,000 people. It's just like I have never understood why he did that. He just immediately got to it. He just sat down, pulled up the video, and was like, "Here's what happens." Dude, Shaq did something so funny yesterday, man. We were in the middle of a poll, and I don't remember why he said it, but someone said something about being in a trash ball, and he just said, "Don't speak," and it took out the whole guild, and we had to wipe. Oh god. Yeah, dude. The funny part is he started laughing when he said it, and he taunted the boss on accident and got fucking one shot. He's so funny, man. Muted again. Yeah, I mute. Guys, I never said we didn't mute during Mythic Plus. That's bro. I'm being gaslit insane. You know, I'm gonna mute out of fucking spite. I'm spite muting. I don't even have anything to talk about right now. I'm just
like and can do it in the end of the fight.
What is this fucking Bro, you don't understand. The moment Max opened his mouth on comms, my body goes into a state of pure, unfiltered euphoria. I'm not reading this. What is fucking happening right now? What is this thing? Please mute again. Calm down. There's no fucking way I'm getting gaslit again. All right, see ya. Okay, whatever. Goodbye. All right. Good news, chat. We're taking lunch in 30 minutes, which is 30 for any of you non-idiots. And then we're pulling the boss right after that. We're making a few comp changes. Nothing super pivotal. But yeah, it's going to be hype. I'm excited. I can't wait to be in trash all day again. I fucking love trash. Dude, chat, I have an idea, by the way. But tell me you guys are cool with it before I tell you what it is. But let me just tell you before anything else, we'll all make a lot of money. All right, deal. All right, here we go. So we're going to launch a crypto coin. And we're going to all get a bunch of it, right? We're going to prop that shit up, right? And then right when we like pop it off to everybody, we're all out, bro. I'm just going to say the word in Discord and we're all out. Let's fucking go. Hashtag grift gang. I'm all in. Dude, that's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear from my mods right there. I think that is illegal now. No, it's not, man. Nothing's really illegal. Let's get a name. Yep, coin. Yes, sir. Grift coin. Hashtag grift. Dude, dog shit coin. Dude, I feel behind on the times. I've never I've never really done much like crypto investing or actually I typed my first thing into an AI prompt the other day. That was fun. Like outside of on accident, like I think when you search things on Google now, there's just like AI against your will happening. But like I actually opened up a little prompt and sent that shit. Sponsor? Oh no, Coinbase is turbo goated. I'm just not super into crypto, you feel me? I'd fucking name my child Coinbase. AI against your will is a nice term. I mean, it's true, bro. Like, it's because one time on stream, I said I haven't like engaged with AI yet, and like everyone's super into it, making all these like generated images and prompts. And if you're a student, obviously, you just like use it to cheat on everything. But like, I just hadn't done that, so I said I hadn't interacted with AI. And some Twitch viewer was like, have you ever Googled something? And it's like, all right, dude. Like I've been Googling for like so many years, right? It's only now that it's against my will, man. Have you ever scrolled social media? No, I'm routinely getting off of all social media. I feel like it's making me stupid. But I'm still on Twitter though because it's part of my job, which kind of sucks. Just get a new job? Dude, this job owns. Why would I do that? I want to keep this job as long as I can, which will be as long as I like it. I have this habit in my life to whenever I don't love my job anymore, I instantly quit it. I've always done that. And it did not work well for me in my 20s. And I have loved my job that I have right now for a long time, which is ideal. It's my toxic trait. If I'm no longer having fun at my job, I'll just get a new one. That's crazy. I mean, they weren't good jobs, by the way. They were like shitty jobs. I just find improvement really fun. So like you can work any job, like literally anything. Like I'm not even making this up. Like working at a McDonald's, and like for the first couple months, you'll get way fucking better at working at that job, more efficient. You learn how things work. That's all very interesting to me. But as soon as it becomes regular or plain or routine, I instantly become bored and have to do something new. My brain's cooked bad. But what's good about my current job is that it's all very creative all the time. So I can I like this shit, and I like yelling at people. And that's one of the best things about this job is you can yell at people and they just listen to you. You just treat them like your little subjects, you know, like on some sociopath shit. And if they ever talk back to you, bro, oh my god, I fucking love yelling. You're my little subject at maximum. No, I'm not. Bet you weren't expecting that answer, huh, buddy? Just turned your shit down. We made you? Oh, kind of true. But I can't give you guys any power. I have to have all the power in this relationship. We're all a cult. Yay. Splat, no fucking shot, buddy. Max, you should make a Twitch chat guild and try to get cutting edge with it. I don't want to do that, but that would be fucking hella easy. It depends on the raid, but like, bro, last year's cutting edge was absolute piss. This scaling raid buff thing is crazy. I was watching Anseret kills during the last week of cutting edge, and it was actually it was like unrecognizable, boss. I'm pretty sure like you can just like if you can get like cutting edge is like I think just mostly a time thing, like if you're just willing to put in the time, because like what the boss requires of you at the end of the patch to kill it is like basically anyone playing WoW could do that if they put in the time. At least last year. That's not always true though. That's also a little bit of hyperbole. It's harder than that, but bring Ska back into raiding. Skadoodle. I thought about bringing that guild back together, but I don't think they were into it. Busy with your dad? Yep. He will only if you bring it back. Oh, is that real, Chad? Might be real, Chad. It's no fake, Chad. I'm just a ska mod who loves WoW and enjoys WoW content. Oh, okay. Yeah, at Shroud's birthday, I met... Obviously, I've played a lot of games with him and his close friends like Scoodle and stuff like that, but I never met Chad. And, like, I watched Shroud a bunch back in the day before I knew him when he did, like, PUBG stuff. So I watched, like, him and Chad and J9 and all them play all the time. So I met Chad at that party. I never met him before, and it turns out he was a huge WoW fan, and that was really cool. That was a nice experience. Shroud says he wants to play this season. Bro, he always says that and flakes out. Don't clip that and send it to him, though, because he'll get mad, but it's kind of true. I didn't even mean that bad either, though. Dude, YouTube chat. Can you guys just have one normal day when you're not just complaining about me not reading this chat? Every time I look over there, hey, what about it? Guys, do you think I'm more or less likely to read the chat if every time I look over there, you're like, he doesn't read the chat? Bro, look at this shit. Look what I read, bro. Look what I read. Would you say race for... here we go. Would you say race for gamers fight against a gear disadvantage at the start? He doesn't read YouTube chat, bro. Give up. Lol, he does. He just doesn't like us. Bro, just fucking... Come on, man. Just do normal stuff. Come on, I like you guys. We're cool. It's just hard for me to read chat all the time. That's all. Come on, man. Came from Twitch just to complain. That's good. The best thing you guys can possibly do for me, by the way, is just having both streams open for no reason. Just double ad revenue. Insanely scamming the companies. It's great. Wait, here we go. We're getting some Tobo gear here, guys. We need a sign up. Oh, never mind. That was 10 minutes ago. I missed the thing. Dude, Shuckman again? Bro, Shuckman is in all these fucking runs, by the way. What a beast. So Tobo this morning decided to not, like everyone else in the guild is doing mostly keys together to get like 10s done and stuff, but Tobo's like, fuck it, I'll just do 10s with the community so I can get 4 people to trade me what I need. That goes crazy hard. Is it on purpose that you don't raid when us EU viewers can watch? Do you hate us? Bro, what are you talking about? I turn my stream on at like when it's nighttime for you all, which is when all of you guys watch because you're all degenerates, bro. Look, every EU gamer I've ever played with, like, basically is awake NA hours because they're completely degenerate. You guys know it's true. You're here. You know? I do. It is convenient for you all. Also, what if I want to do something for me? What if I want to raid when I want to raid? Why does it have to be? Why does it have to be about you guys? You know? Can I have something nice for once? Can I have something nice? That's all I want. I just want to do something for me. Hope we kill this boss faster than... Okay, this is going to sound stupid because, like, obviously you'd rather kill every boss faster than slower, but I would like to also at least see what the enrage looks like on Sprocket today. Just doing some quick math, it looks extremely fucking real. We want one-armed bandit. Yeah. All right, 1 second.